Hello everyone, welcome to United and Everything Football. This is episode 21 of this beautiful podcast. We are so happy to have you join us every single time. We bring to you everything Manchester United, and if there's time, we bring to you everything football as well. But we have something in store for you in January. Just stay tuned. We'll be announcing that very, very, very soon. And just subscribe, just hit the notification bell. When this new thing drop, you'll be very, very happy to join. And so we are very much grateful to all our new subscribers. If this is your first time, please remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. We are so happy to have you do this with us every single time. Thank you so much for joining us. As usual, I do this with Kwame Nkubu, my co-host, and he's also the panelist on this beautiful podcast. Today we are joined once again by the big man himself, Nathan Obodai-Kwao, a staunch United fan, a morning show host, a sports presenter, sports journalist, a rapper. I mean,
I always laugh whenever people say that about me. I find it so funny.
Talented Nathan Obodai-Kwao. We are so happy to have Nathan here with us every single time. Kwame, I hope you are doing very, very well.
Yeah, doing great.
You are doing great. Yes. You would definitely be great given that we didn't lose at Anfield. We've already discussed that, but we'll pick Nathan's thoughts on that. Nathan, I hope you are doing very well.
I'm all right. I'm a little upset that we are not playing League Cup action, but we take it like
that. Anyway, so we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve straight into the issues. We have a few more things to talk about ahead of the game against West Ham. Some news have been coming up as well. We'll be discussing all of that. We'll be right back after this. All right, thank you so much for joining us, and we are so happy to have you here. As usual, remember to hit the subscribe button if this is your first time and you've not subscribed to this beautiful podcast, and also hit the notification bell as well, so that anytime we drop a new episode, you'll be notified, so you could quickly join and enjoy this beautiful podcast. So our previous episode, which was episode 20, myself and Kwame delved deep into the game against Liverpool. But Nathan is joining us, so we would pick Nathan's thoughts on the game, what he made of it. We are projecting Nathan's tweet or the post that he made right after the game. He said we survived. So that's what Nathan said.
He was dreading the encounter.
He was dreading, and I'm so
telling you.
Here. But Nathan, let's pick your thoughts. What do you make of the performance we put up at Anfield and the result as well?
I must say, I never thought I would see an Erik ten Hag team defend the way United defended last week at Anfield. I was very impressed. I did not think Erik ten Hag had it in him to set up a team to be defensively solid and resilient and tough, but he showed this other side, and thumbs up to him, thumbs up to the team. I think the Anfield episode from last season and how everything had built up to the game meant that there was only one thing left for United to do, just go to Anfield and dig in as well as they could. If they survived with a point, great. If they got beaten 1-0, I'm sure they would say, okay, we tried. If they got a smash and grab, they'll look at it and say, that's what the gods gave us. We'll take it and run away. But, in hindsight, I've seen that game once since it was played. And like I said, I was impressed with the discipline, how everybody executed. Of course, there were a few individual performances that could have been better. But overall, I'm sure Liverpool themselves would have asked themselves, where's this Man United coming from? This was a team that was supposed to have been broken in spirit. The dressing room should have been in tatters. But United actually showed up and defended for their lives. That's really what they could do, really, against a rampant Liverpool team and against everything that had been built against them. That was what they could do. I was very impressed with, like I said, the defensive setup. But when I look at the individuals who played that day, I think the player who walks away with all my respect is Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
Because one, I was very afraid he would break in such an atmosphere. But for an 18-year-old, he showed so much temperament, so much character. He was so calm on the ball. He knew what he was doing. And tactically, he was absolutely brilliant in midfield, putting himself in very interesting positions to allow United to breathe and get the ball to go up the pitch. And I thought he did very, very, very well on the day. On the minus, I thought Scott McTominay was an absolute disappointment. Not because I expected much from him, but when you are placed in a game where you captain the team, you play in a position that's supposed to favor you, you have Kobe Mainoo and Amrabat behind you as added security, I thought he should have at least tried to do a bit more in terms of attacking the box. Yeah, maybe United didn't have much of the ball, but I thought every time he got on the ball when he had to make a decision, he didn't know what to do, especially with the ball at his feet. And I think that performance encapsulates Scott McTominay's range. He's a great attacker of the ball when it's being cut into the box or crossed in or whatever. And if you ask him to get the ball and do a job and run past people and dribble and create, he cannot do anything. And I hope that Erik ten Hag passes judgment on Scott McTominay and says, from now on, never will I give you a midfield role that says, take the ball and pass to somebody. Your job is to be a second striker who runs from deep and attacks the goal and scores. End of story. No more whatever with Scott McTominay. I think what we know of him and his profile was encapsulated in that performance. But overall, like I said, United survived. We'll take 1 point off Liverpool. They can be upset all they want. We took a point off them, and I'm very happy with it.
And you know, it's quite interesting. All throughout the season, Liverpool have picked maximum points in the league at Anfield, and United has been the only team that prevented them from scoring and have been able to pick up a point. I mean, you wouldn't put that to United to do such a thing going into this encounter, given the issues that the club has been going through and all of that. And it was quite impressive. Now, you made mention of a very, very important aspect of the game, which is the midfield and the personnel that marshaled that midfield on the day. You singled out Kobe Mainoo, described what he did on the day. You picked up Scott McTominay. It led us to put up a poll on our Twitter handle at United Ball, where we just wanted to know what should be our best midfield combo. So we did one for Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, which was the first midfield combo that started the season in the game against Wolves and even played the second game against Spurs. Then we had Casemiro, Amrabat, Bruno, which we are yet to see. We are yet to see because when Casemiro was fit, Amrabat used to play left back because we had lost all our left back players. And we have what people feel is the ideal, which is Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, and then Bruno. And guess what? It's had, as you can see on the projections, it's had 88%. I don't know for you, Ethan, what you
I voted for that combo.
You voted? Oh, that's great. So let's pick your thoughts on that. What sort of midfield do we see when we have that kind of combination?
You remember when I appeared on the podcast the last time, I spoke about the different layers United needed to have. They needed to have a destroyer, a controller, and a playmaker. And that combination, that currently has 88% and probably will get more.
Yeah,
I think it answers all the questions. There is a destroyer in Casemiro. And then you can have young Kobe Mainoo. You can say he's 18, but I think that he's showing a lot of temperament. And I think that United should give him a lot more of the opportunity to grow and understand the rough and tumble nature of the league. There will be days when he will get it wrong. But when I look at how he plays and how he thinks about the game, I think he's somebody who can, in the long term, replace Eriksen as the controller. So Casemiro, the destroyer, and a controller. If it's Kobe Mainoo or Eriksen, I'll take that. And then you can have Bruno Fernandes playing up the top as the number 10. Because really that is what Bruno is good at. Absolutely. Creating chances, being a secondary threat, being around the box, and just being a headache for the opposition. Even though you can pull him deep and ask him to do a job, Bruno loves to chase the ball so much, and he loves to get involved so much because, you know, he's passionate about the game. He cares about the game. He wants the ball. He will chase. But in a bid to do all that is good, it distorts the entire midfield structure. And now United will pay premium for that. So I feel if you have Casemiro and then Kobe Mainoo and then Bruno Fernandes at the top, you have a midfield combination that will give you proper control, that will allow United to get on the ball They can still shield the back four. They can have some tempo. And then they can allow Bruno to do all the things he wants to do high up the pitch and closer to the opposition's box.
All right. Kwame, let me pick your thoughts on that. I'm sure you certainly are part of the 88%, clearly. At some point, someone from the comment section say, hey, stop the count. It's okay. Pull the poll down.
He said, stop the count.
He's like, pull the poll down. It's okay. We've seen what we want to see. Why do you think a lot of people are in favor of this particular midfield structure?
Nathan has summed it up perfectly. I couldn't have said more. I mean, the key word here is balance. When you, on the face of it, you look at the profile of each and every single player in that midfield trio, it's reeks of balance. We don't have balance in our midfield. So you put them together, and then I think we'll be far more balanced.
There's one thing that I see. I'm sure you guys would take note of it. There are two players in there who give the ball away a lot. They are not so safe with possession. Casemiro is one, and Bruno Fernandes is one. The only player who is more comfortable on the ball is Kobbie Mainoo, who is able to shield, who is able to, that body swerve, just to pick people away and then hold on to the ball for some few seconds, pick the right passes and all of that. What do you think of it? Let me get to Kwame on that. The amount of time that we lose the ball and all of that, and the effect.
I think it's got to do with roles and instructions.
Okay.
You see, when you tell your side that they need to play in transition, right? It's about getting the ball forward really quickly. So when you look at Casemiro and what he tried to do in the early part of the season, he tried to always set us up to break quickly and then to move the ball quickly. Hence, how erratic he actually looked with his passing. I mean, if you change the instructions a bit, that we need to hold on to the ball a bit more. Casemiro is good on the ball. You cannot tell me Casemiro, with all the experience he had from Madrid, Brazil, is not good on the ball. He can retain possession. He can keep it a lot more simple. Yeah. So I think what Erik ten Hag set out to do from the beginning of the season is what we saw with certain players. They exposed certain players. Yeah. Bruno is trying to force it. Casemiro is trying to force it. Yeah. Eriksen is even trying to force it. Yeah. I think he should just understand the profile of these players and know that we are not there yet in terms of what he wants from his midfield. So we should try and control games a lot more, hold on to the ball a lot more. And I think things will be a lot better.
Nathan, the losing of balls is one thing that worries me a lot. I mean, it leads to a lot of turnovers that opposition are likely to hit you with, especially if you're not properly organized. And it's something that I feel it's one of the key things we saw at Anfield. We get the ball, we are not able to progress the ball well enough because we have Scott McTominay there, whose ball says, I don't know. Losing of balls, these two players that I've mentioned. I mean, how do you think we can even things out?
Well, I think Kwame said it's about roles, it's about descriptions. But when you have a player like Kobbie Mainoo around, you know that when he has the ball, he's more assured. And then that means that once he gets possession, others can focus on the things that matter. Casemiro can sit in a deep position. And then, once the ball gets to Bruno, he's closer to the opposition. He can cause a kind of damage. If you go back to last season, a lot of the times when it worked for Man United, it worked because there was Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno Fernandes. And then a variation of that is the one that has Kobbie Mainoo in there, because I see him as a younger, technically sound player, just like Eriksen. So I feel that if United replicate that midfield, it will be good. The other challenge, just like Kwame, is about role description. I feel that because Erik ten Hag started the season playing this, what ultimately looked like a 4-1-4-1 with Casemiro sitting alone in that midfield, and then the two number 8s, Mount and Bruno Fernandes pressing high up. What it meant was that once the ball was lost, Casemiro had all this space to cover, and the opposition midfielders are smart. Once you double up on him, what's he going to do? Once you flood the area, United get outnumbered, and the pressure keeps recycling itself and all. So I just feel that once there's balance and there's control, and there are a few more bodies in that central area with the right instructions, the right coaching, United will be able to control games better, and then decide on how games go in terms of tempo, chance creation, retention rates, and all of that.
All right. Okay. All right. So that's it on that. I feel it's very important that we get our combination. But I can assure you one thing: Scott McTominay will still be playing, whether you like it or not. You can dream of all your.
You should stop saying that. It's depressing.
I mean, you can think of. I need to be the guy to put the reality down for you, Kwame.
No. That's the reality. You're taking the easy road here.
I think when everybody is fit, Scott McTominay comes off the bench as a scoring option. I think that's what it is.
Mark it now. A Malam goal expert is not. He saved the guy in that Brentford game. Since then, he's always number one on the team sheet. Anyway, that's just by the by. Okay, let's hear you.
I just want to say that because Erik ten Hag and the team got into that bad spell, it was always very natural for him to rely on McTominay and co. I think that if he has all his pieces, I don't think he will let McTominay start a lot of games.
All right.
And I also feel that, and I just feel that Erik ten Hag needs to just pass final judgment on Scott McTominay. We all know, and I know he knows that in his mind, he's very sure of what McTominay can do. I just feel that sometimes, maybe he wants to be nice to players. Oh, let's give him a few minutes, let him play. What? Don't let anyone. Just get him off the bench and let him score goals. And
let him out. All right. Thank you, Nathan. Let's quickly switch to our game over the weekend. It's an early kickoff, and early kickoff has its own dynamics. I don't know. We play against West Ham at the London Stadium. The last time we played, there's a famous Marcus Rashford doing like this because David De Gea let in a goal that gave West Ham the opportunity, or David Moyes the opportunity to score us in a very, very, very. I mean, it's been a while since David Moyes had won on us, so he got his win over us in that game. So where we lost by a goal to nil. So we'll be playing against West Ham United, who are also in form. There are a lot of dynamics, the Kudus dynamics, the quality that they've gotten up front, and all of that. Lucas Paqueta, and these are players who are in form for West Ham at the moment. In fact, if you check the points build-up, they're not too far from us in the points build-up. And it's a game that you need to take you need to be very cautious about going forward. Let me start with you, Nathan. Given the nature of results we got at Anfield, I mean, obviously there will be a little bit of confidence. The team will feel that this is something we should build on. We've lost the opportunity to advance in the Champions League. We are out of the Champions League. The only competitions that we are left with at the moment is the league and the FA Cup. We have a lot of time on our hands. What do we do in such a game going into the game against West Ham?
I think the first thing the team, Erik ten Hag and the players, they need to understand that West Ham are feeling very confident. So United will have to think about a very confident West Ham. Now, a very confident West Ham will mean two things. One, on the defensive end, it will mean a West Ham that will be ready to dig deep and really frustrate Manchester United because it is David Moyes who's handling them. Yeah. The second point is that a confident West Ham will be a team that would want to play on the break, looking at how Kudus has scored the goals, looking at the combinations available to them, i.e. Paqueta, Bowen, and Mo Kudus. What they have in those three players are they have a player who can find the pass, and they've got players who can run after that pass. So United need to be very, 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 very careful, how they deal with that. The other hidden threats West Ham will throw at Man United are dead ball situations. One from players who can attack the ball, and two from a player who can actually score from range, which is James Ward-Prowse. Yeah. And he does have a good record against Man United. He's put a few past us, in previous games. So United will have to think about all these threats going into the game. Now, what does it mean for Man United in terms of the setup? Between last Sunday and this West Ham game, a few players should be back. I think Marcus Rashford, I don't know his situation. But I feel that Erik ten Hag needs to present a team that can, one, unlock West Ham, two, replicate a bit of the defensive discipline at Anfield. Maybe not throughout the game, but at key points where free kicks and things will come in. But most importantly, he should find a team that can reach West Ham and then take those, because a lot of the opportunities won't come easy. West Ham are really confident, and that means they will defend well. United need to find the ways through. I'm still looking at Rasmus Højlund, and I pray that he finds his goal. when I look at the Anfield episode, I think it should remind the team that if he's found with good service, he can make attempts, he can take shots. Hopefully, those shots should go.
Yeah.
In terms of personnel, I would not want to see Anthony start that game. I would not want to see Anthony start that game. Somebody will say, oh yeah, he played well on the defensive end against Liverpool. I give him that. On the attacking end, he doesn't give United anything. And when he wakes up, those moments are few and far between. So I feel that the headache is this, but who does Ten Hag play? Because he has Garnacho on the left. Who does he have on the right? Clearly not Marcus Rashford. So it may mean Anthony starts again. So more headaches. But Bruno Fernandes returns. So at least it may mean Scott McTominay going down to the bench. It may. Possibility. We are not sure.
I can assure you. I can assure you.
You know.
McTominay will be on the pitch.
I mean, of course, that compromises a lot of that midfield. And Ten Hag will have decisions to make. But I just hope that he puts together a team, most importantly, that will be able to match West Ham in terms of intensity. Yeah. Because last season, I remember reviewing the game and I remember going through some numbers. West Ham were more intense. Yeah. They wanted the ball more. They pressed more. And even though somebody will say, you can't measure those things like hunger and willingness, they end up being very crucial in some of these games. The team that has the hunger, the willingness to press, chase, take the second ball and keep things going, those teams are the ones that end up winning almost all the time. United need to be ready for a fight. Yeah. I think if they nail the fight part well, pound for pound, they should be able to get something past West Ham.
So when we are pressed, or when I press you, what do you think will be the outcome of this game?
If United will win, it will be 2-1. 2-1 to Man United. If United are going to win that game, it will be 2-1. It won't be easy. United have won easier games at West Ham.
Yes.
And I think this West Ham team is well stocked. They are well prepared. Yeah. They will breach Man United. But I think if United will win, it will be a 2-1 win.
All right. Kwame, in a minute, I mean, Nathan has covered everything. I want us to discuss something very important here. What do you think we'll get out of this game? Are we going to build on it?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect.
You don't know which United shows up.
I don't know what to expect.
I understand that fear.
I don't know which United will turn up because every time we seem to be making a step forward, then we kind of take a step back. So I see, I'm just going to pray that everything Nathan said happens and we probably win 2-1. I can't analyze it. I really don't know what to expect.
It's very difficult. You know, anytime we've come here, we've done a very nice pre-match analysis. You know, you think this will happen, and then you go into the game, and then something totally different happens. You ask yourself, why?
Strangely enough, every time I think about United games and the worst possible things that can happen, almost always they do. So, for example, as we are talking to you, something in my spirit tells me James Ward-Prowse will score a free kick.
It's happened too far off.
It's happened
far off.
Yes.
For you to think that something like that will happen. It's always in us like that. Anyway, we will be looking forward to that game. We'll be back here to discuss that game.
Nathan, you better be right. You better be right about that result.
I pray so. I pray. Look, I'm really praying.
We all pray so. Anyway, let's move on to our last @1 discussion for today. And as you know, still on the news on the takeover by the Glazers. It's been more than a year since they put out that they are seeking strategic alternatives. People have always been thinking of seal. The people are smart. They said strategic alternative. So it's been Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who the news has it that he's getting 25% minority stake in the club. And as we've always reported here in our explainer and everything, they will be given the football, Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be given the football arm of the football club to run, obviously the most important part of the product, Manchester United, which hasn't been so well, hasn't fed so well under the Glazers. I'm sure the Glazers being smart, thinking, okay, let's keep the business part as ours. Run the football part, bring in the cash. When we are ready, we'll give everything to you. We have a target. We have some money to make and all of that. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be taking over the football arm. Now, news that we are picking or that has been making rounds has it that as you know, Richard Arnold has left the club as the CEO just last 2 weeks or last week. There is an interim CEO which is the club lawyer who is taking charge as the interim CEO until the deal is ratified. The names that we are hearing is Jean Claude Blanc, former Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain CEO, who we are hearing is likely to take over as the CEO of the club. We're also hearing news of Dan Ashworth, who is the sporting director of Newcastle United, a man who has done a lot of work with Brighton, discovering some very, very important talent for them and has done some good job at Newcastle United, heading our football division. And also there is the popular man, what's the guy's name again?
Paul Mitchell.
Paul Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Still taking over as head of recruitment. So this is a very solid structure. I mean, I'll read some comments from some of the people when we put this out on our Twitter page. A lot of people have had some few things to share. But Nathan, what do you make of all of these personnel? Let's focus on the personnel. We've talked about the minority thing all over. But the quality of personnel, and should it be them, what do we expect from these guys should the deal go through?
Okay, I mean, if you look at the three gentlemen, all of them come to their respective roles with lots of work in the bank. They've done things at different places. So if you take somebody like Jean Claude Blanc, he's done some tennis. You mentioned PSG, Juventus, and I feel that the Juventus part of his career is very important. It gives you an insight into what he could potentially do, taking a team that's going to Syria, restructuring the finances, reworking the contracts, getting some people to stay, moving others on, but eventually leading the club back up into the Syria, and they've gone on to do big things in terms of winning the league and all. Yeah. It tells you of a man who has a good understanding of how to take a club that is not in a good place, and Man United are not in a good place, and potentially send them higher up. So that excites me, the idea of somebody who is coming in to restructure how football will be run and how a football club must be run. And it's important that he comes in with that Juventus experience. You talk about Paul Mitchell, and in the world of football, one of the names that has a lot of mystique is Paul Mitchell. They talk about him in almost godlike terms about this guy who knows how to recruit players and is this master football director, blah, blah, blah. But the point is he has done a lot of work. He has put in a lot of work. And his area is in refining that aspect of a football team. And if Man United have a major headache, it is that part, recruitment, talent ID, how to get those things done. And if he will come in, a big if he will come in, I feel that United will really, really need somebody like that to actually get that part working. Because United, since Alex Ferguson left, United has wasted a lot of time and money trying to just figure out how to do things proper clubs do. How to spot players, how to sign players, what kind of contracts to give them, which player fits what kind of profile does this player have? Does he fit into the grand scheme? Does the club even have a grand scheme of things? So I feel that Paul Mitchell will have the potential to solve that. I hope these appointments come through. The third name, Dan Ashworth, he's at Newcastle now. He's done work at Brighton. He did work with the English FA. He was a key part of restructuring the football that England as a country do play these days. So clearly he's somebody who knows what it takes to refine football, like give structure to football, decide on an idea of football and build on that. Look at Brighton, look at Newcastle United, look at what they are doing. Even though they have a lot of money, you can tell that they've bought wisely, they've bought smartly, and there's a good chance that they will buy better players as they try to improve this thing and get the new iteration of the Newcastle that's backed with Arab money. So I'm happy these names are linked. I hope that whether it's them or whoever gets to fill those positions, actually have proper football knowledge. If you can get these three men together working at Man United, I'm very positive that they can bring their experiences and then get the football side running properly as it should. All right.
Okay. We picked some few tweets from people on our Twitter feed. There's this guy called Gideon. Gideon said, "Too good to be true, but if this happens, they will definitely win all." We will definitely win all again. It's impossible that it is impossible to have these three and not win everything. I mean, people are reposing so much confidence in this. Says that another person, Dachi Bilu, with a handle. Yes, he says that if this is to happen, I believe we will be back on our feet once again. One guy, Guadachi, said we might be back. We might just be back. I mean, people have a lot of confidence in these people going into, I mean, being linked to the club, occupying these roles that we clearly have created, but have filled with people Kwame will call family and friends, with very little bag of experience in our bag in terms of quality output to get us out of where we are. So definitely we'll be looking out for that. Thank you very much, Nathan, on that. Kwame, I wish I could pick your thoughts, but we'll do that some other time. You had so much to say on
I know.
And family and friends.
Family and friends.
Family and
That's
friends.
all they believe, family and friends.
Exactly. So we have just 4 minutes. No, I think 3 minutes to go. Later, I'm going to run through the contract situation of some of these selected players at the club, and we'll do some quick fire. Should they go or should they stay? I'll pick a minute's thoughts on that. Anthony Martial, 6 months left plus 1 year extension. Should he stay or should he leave?
Go. He should go.
Rafael Varane, 6 months left, 1 year extension. Should he stay or should he leave?
I'll give him a year's extension.
A year's extension. Victor Lindelof, 6 months left.
He should go.
He should go. All right. Wan-Bissaka, 6 months left, 1 year extension.
I'll give him an extension.
You give him an extension. Okay. Scott McTominay, 18
Of course,
months.
and bring in another right back. And bring in another
right back. Okay. All right. That's great. Scott McTominay, 18 months. Scott
18 months. Wow. I would say sell him whilst you can make some money off him.
All right. Okay. Sell him while we can make some money off it. Harry Maguire.
I never thought I would say this, but that's a tough one.
Harry Maguire.
Wow. Okay, move him on. Sell him while you can. Sell him while you can. Make some money.
This guy has 18 months. Mason Greenwood.
You know, the Mason Greenwood thing, I feel that, you know, when a lot of people watch the clips, they get excited. But, you know, the Mason Greenwood situation is, I think it's beyond football, right? I don't think we want to go through the intricacies of what it means and all of that. I think United on Mason Greenwood is beyond football. United have got to make a decision that concerns their own reputation as a football club.
Yes.
I think they would have wanted to keep it, but the heat and pressure will not allow them to. So this is what I will say. He's on loan now. Yes. I don't know what the situation will look like in 6 months or at the start of next season. If by then the environment is still not very friendly to keeping him around, then United will have to make a decision on him. Maybe sell him on, make some money. But United should mark it down that the day they move Mason Greenwood on, the football gods will contrive and he will play for a team that will meet Man United and he will dish it out hard and cold.
So Nathan, keep or sell. You still haven't answered the question.
On what? On Mason Greenwood?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tough one.
No, don't go around it. Keep or sell. Are you keeping or are you selling?
Forget about the club.
Okay. I should forget about the club.
Forget about the club.
And should I factor? Okay, I can't factor in all other things.
Don't factor anything. Forget about the club.
If you were in charge, if you were the CEO, are you keeping or are you selling?
I would sell him.
You will sell him.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's Nathan. Donny van der Beek.
Not because he's a bad footballer.
Of course. Definitely.
And
Donny sell. Sell Donny.
Hannibal Mejbri. 18 months. Keep. All right. Jadon Sancho, 2 years left, 1 year extension.
Sell him now.
All right. Okay.
Now.
Quick one. We have just 30 seconds. Anthony Martial.
Sell. Like
Rafael Varane.
Sell.
Victor Lindelof.
Sell.
Wan-Bissaka.
Sell.
Scott McTominay.
Sell.
Harry Maguire.
100% sell.
Mason
Like
Greenwood.
yesterday.
Mason
Greenwood. Keep.
All right, Donny van de Beek. He's already gone.
Yo, it's a corner. Sell.
Hannibal.
Sell.
Jadon Sancho.
Oh, come back.
All right. That's how we end
Cancel his
today's,
contract.
that's how we end today's edition of United and Everything Football. Thank you very much, Nathan. Wow, thank you very much, Kwame Chukwueze, for joining us. So it's been a very beautiful and a very exciting edition of this beautiful podcast. Thank you. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be back once again next week. We hope that we are winning against West Ham United in that game. Have a great time.